Thanks so much for spending your Saturday night with us. I'm Matt Holzaffel. An approximately 1,800-acre fire broke out in Clancy just south of Helena this afternoon. With the latest update on the blaze, here's MTN's Alexia Aguayo.
A fire that started in Jefferson County has spread north, prompting evacuation and pre-evacuation notices. Helicopter and ground crews attacked the fire through steep and rough terrain. The fire was pushed by strong winds.
I'm on Lump Gulch area now. You can see all the fire smoke behind me here from the fires. Now, several homes have already been evacuated. Red Cross did set up a service center at the La Quinta Inn in Helena for anyone needing services.
And it grew rapidly. So we know that the conditions with a wind-pushed fire like that, it's difficult sometimes to make sure that everybody gets to work.
Firefighters evacuated between 20 and 25 homes Saturday afternoon. Homes in the Sheep Mountain area and in the upper area of Little Buffalo Creek Road were the first to be evacuated. Southern areas of Lewis and Clark County around Unionville are under pre-evacuation notice. That means residents should be ready to go if conditions worsen. But Pat says you don't have to wait to leave until someone tells you to.
And if you feel like you should go, if you're uneasy, if your situational awareness is telling you things are not right, go ahead, go. And always go back.
In Clancy, I'm Alexi Aguayo, MTM News.
An American Red Cross of Montana has opened a shelter in Helena for those being evacuated due to the wildfire. The shelter is set up at the La Quinta Inn, 701 Washington Street. We now have 8 more cases of coronavirus to add to the already 15 new cases today. With 23 cases since yesterday, this is the largest single-day spike we've seen in Montana since March 31st. Of those 8 new cases, 3 are from Ravalli County, 1 from Flathead County, and 1 from Cascade County. The individual from Cascade County is a woman in her 50s with no history of travel or contact with a known case. That makes it 18 total cases for Cascade County, but only 1 registered as active. The other 3 cases were reported from Bighorn County. Montana still has the lowest number of cases in the country, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. There's a notable rise in new coronavirus cases in several states, not just Montana as well. Texas, Florida, and California all recorded daily highs today. More than 2 million Americans have been infected, and total U.S. deaths now exceed 115,000. Janet Shamlian with CBS News is in Houston.
This is the COVID-19 team at Houston's Methodist Hospital, where they've seen a 40% increase in cases in recent weeks, and intensive care units are 85% full.
We've already uncorked the genie. We got our wish, which was to end the home quarantine orders, and now we're seeing people treat that as if COVID-19 is no longer an issue, and that's far from the fact.
As Texas restaurants reopened at 75% capacity, cases are rising in more than 22 states. Florida is among them, where Miami's beaches have reopened, as the state today reported 2,500 new cases. Manny Bjorkis is there.
Dan Gelber is the mayor of Miami Beach. He says if crowds grow too large and cases spike, the beaches could close again.
We want people to, realize that this pandemic is still here, but we've got to open up our economy. We've got to give people the opportunity to get out there.
As they do, the CDC is out with new guidelines, including wearing cloth masks at large gatherings.
I'm going to wear my mask.
But masks are a divisive issue. In California, Orange County is no longer requiring them.
Don't wear a mask if that's what you want.
Visitors are pouring into wine country as it reopens this weekend. But parts of the West Coast are hitting the brakes. Utah and Oregon delaying reopening. A different story in what was the epicenter of COVID-19. New York now has the lowest rate of transmission in the nation.
From the worst infection rate to the best. That's what New Yorkers accomplished.
There are now more than 2 million coronavirus cases across America, and the CDC is predicting as many as 140,000 deaths by early July. Janet Shamlian, CBS News, Houston.
And you can continue to stay tuned to our website and social media accounts for daily reports on the numbers of new coronavirus cases in Montana. It's been a very windy day here in the Treasure State, and our Storm Tracker weather team is here to tell us more. Grant Garland joins us now. Grant?
Yeah, we've been looking at some wind speeds almost 60 miles an hour with our wind gusts, and that has not helped in terms of that fire that we saw earlier this afternoon near Helena. 59 right at that crest in Helena. In the Great Falls, 40 miles an hour. Cut Bank 59, Glasgow 49. Butte, though, 63 miles an hour. And I mean, we're just continuing to see these wind speeds. Now, they are sustained at the current time. Southwest winds at 21 miles an hour in Great Falls, 29 in Cut Bank, 28 in Havre, 35 in Glasgow, and 21 in Helena. And thankfully, we aren't looking at a severe thunderstorm right now. They have been, though, moving through our area all throughout the evening. And this guy right here, he was downgraded about 15-20 minutes ago, but he's causing a lot of lightning as well as heavy downpours near Whitewater, right now making its way towards Val Marie. Now, we still are in, though, we aren't out of the clear yet, that's what I should say, for maybe an isolated severe thunderstorm. The good news is that I think that energy is leaving us. The lack of daytime heating is also on the downside, so that's the good news. But cooler temperatures are on the way for the short-term forecast, and I'll have those details in just a couple minutes. But for now, Matt, back to you, sir.
All right, thanks, Grant. Alluvian Health in Great Falls held a garage sale this morning to raise money for Alluvian Gives. The garage sale was meant to help meet patient needs and raise money for the creation of a new hygiene pantry. All items at the sale were donated by staff and others and sold at affordable prices. Maria Groh is a care coordinator at Alluvian Health. She said she enjoys being a part of a place that gives back.
I love my job working at Alluvian Health, being able to help people who do need those things and, being able to give it to them at a discounted price and all the money that we're raising to help them in the long run.
Alluvian Gives is a staff-run committee comprised of Alluvian healthcare coordinators that works to meet patient needs, including connecting resources to partner organizations and housing and food insecurities. To some, this week's announcement about Fish, Wildlife, and Parks postponing the Fish and Wildlife Commission meeting was a big surprise. MTN's Gabby Crevitt has the latest on the Madison River Recreation Management updates and how people are responding.
In a press release Thursday, Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks announced that the Madison River Recreation Management Environmental Assessment meeting would be postponed till August, and that has many people talking.
Well, the Madison Rec rules for now are dead in the water.
Today's Fish and Wildlife Commission meeting was supposed to be an opportunity for FWP to present the draft environmental assessment to the Fish and Wildlife Commission and take public comment. In the document were a number of alternatives for managing commercial use and recreation on the river, but not everybody was on board with having the discussion in the midst of a pandemic.
There are people that are absolutely fighting for their economic survival right now, and to pile on with a proposal that will do nothing but reduce outfitted tourism in their community is to take a major step backwards.
Groups like the Fishing Outfitters Association of Montana say delaying the meeting kicks the can further down the road.
With over 200,000 user days climbing up towards 300, at some point, I think we all agree that it's being overused, overloved. And at that point, I think you'll see those businesses crash and crash hard.
But those supporting a rescheduled meeting, including a number of small businesses in Ennis, don't feel the same way. Others view the delay as a missed opportunity for collaboration and sacrifice.
We've been working together across political lines, anglers, sportsmen and women, business owners, outfitters and guides. So many people dedicated so much time into crafting something that isn't perfect, but we really wanted to get it out for a broader dialogue.
In Madison County, Gabby Crevitt, MTN News.
And in part, a statement from the governor's office says due to travel restrictions and recovery needs, it's appropriate to temporarily postpone deliberation over the proposed environmental assessment. Coming up, some people are concerned that new police reforms may lead to more police officers retiring or losing interest in joining at all. That story and more after the break.
Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on Montana's News Leader.
There's a growing question about whether police reforms will turn away new officer recruits or force some officers to retire early. Police union officials who have met with President Trump at the White House say they stand to lose good current and future officers. Joe St. George is in D.C. with more on the worry among police.
From the chants,
we don't want no more police,
to the speeches, to the words written on city streets, police officers telling us the political climate emerging from the protests is one they've never felt before.
Law enforcement is being crucified.
As the nation grieves over George Floyd's death, police reform is already underway in Los Angeles. The mayor wants the police budget reduced by $150 million. In New York State, the governor signing a new law allowing disciplinary records to become public. In Colorado, lawmakers advancing a bill allowing officers to be sued. Currently, police have immunity.
There's officers in my department that are talking about wanting to get out of law enforcement early.
Rob Pride is a patrol sergeant in Colorado.
Thank you, Mr. President.
But he's also a trustee with the Fraternal Order of Police. He met with President Trump this week and tells us good cops are talking about retiring early. Why? Well, cuts could mean crime prevention programs and beloved community outreach efforts go away.
We'll be relegated to be a reactive police force at best, with no additional programs and no additional interaction other than to enforce the law and arrest people. And that's not a profession I want to be a part of.
Pride predicts recruiting will become even harder. The Police Executive Research Forum reported recently 63% of departments nationwide saw a decrease in applicants in the last 5 years. The fear is reforms won't help.
It's already difficult for us.
Now, the sergeant believes in some police reform. He wants chokeholds banned, for instance, but he also wants good cops to stay on the force. Outside the White House in Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
The month of June was chosen for LGBT Pride Month to commemorate the Stonewall riots, which occurred at the end of June in 1969. This year, though, Pride marches and events in Montana look a bit different thanks to the coronavirus pandemic. Here's MTN's Jordan Johnson with more.
Pride Month is usually marking the celebration of the LGBT plus community with parades and various celebrations, but this year those events are canceled due to the coronavirus. But the Western Montana Community Center is wanting people to show their resiliency as well as allowing others to embrace their true selves with a giveaway of rainbow masks.
Yeah, this project has really exploded, which is great.
David Herrera is the director of the Montana Gay Health Task Force and a board member of the center, and says that they expected to donate 200 masks, but now they are projected to give away 1,200 masks by the end of June. Herrera says that Pride Month to him means the remembrance of the Stonewall riots of June 1969 and how far society has come.
Really, to me, it's about liberation. It's about the need to not be ashamed, to not live your life in fear, to proclaim, for ourselves that we are human beings just like everybody else and deserve the exact same rights that everybody else has.
But there's still room for growth, Herrera says.
Definitely there's a lot of work that still needs to happen with regards to homophobia, racism, transphobia.
Despite the coronavirus canceling many Pride events like Big Sky Pride, Herrera says it won't stop the center's outreach.
Even though that's not happening, we're not, letting it stop us from trying to communicate, an important message during this month.
The Gay Health Task Force and the Two Spirit Society are collaborating with the center at the end of June for a free testing event. In Missoula, Jordan Johnson, MTN News.
And in Great Falls, the majority of the Pride Month events will take place virtually this year.
All right, well, we are looking at our temperature trends staying below the average for this time of year, which I'm thankful for. But hey, don't go away. I'll look at your full 7-day forecast coming up after this break. Well, welcome back, everyone. I hope that you have had a great Saturday, even if it has been windy. I mean, we're seeing peak wind gusts over the last 24 hours at about 60 miles per hour in Helena, down towards Butte, 63, Great Falls, 40, out towards Glasgow, 49 miles per hour, and out towards Cut Bank, also 59 miles an hour. And the thing is we're not seeing these winds go away anytime soon. Sustained winds right now out of the southwest for us here in the Electric City at 21 miles an hour, head up on up to Cut Bank, 29. Out of Havre, 28, and in Glasgow, 35, and down towards the capital, 21. What are we expecting, though, as we head throughout the night? we're going to continue to see almost 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts in Cutbank at times, 40 to 50 here in the Electric City, 30 to 40 in the capital, 10 to 20 not so bad in Lewistown, 30 to 40 though in Glasgow as well as Havre. Going throughout the morning, if you are going to be going to church in the morning or going out and running errands, make sure that you hold on to your hat. We're looking at 40 to 50 mile per hour winds in Cutbank, 30 to 40 in Great Falls, 10 to 20 in Helena, and 30 to 40 in Havre. And really all out throughout the day, it is going to be a windy one. So just make sure that you have everything that's loose in your yard tied down, because it's going to need to be that. Over the last 3 hours, we have been looking at activity dying down, which is great news. Still though, this thunderstorm really packing a punch as it makes its way into Canada, but Whitewater, Malta, and Fort Belknap all just escaped all the torrential downpours from that storm. It was at a severe status, but then it expired as it was making its way towards Canada. Temperature 61 degrees in Great Falls, 66 in Helena, as well as down towards Fort Benton. A little bit warmer in Lewistown at 70 degrees. Elsewhere, seeing 78 in Glasgow, 85 though in Jordan, and 62 in Havre. And today's high was 81 degrees. Doesn't quite beat the record though, set back in 1918 at 97. That was also the year that President Woodrow Wilson was in office. Reason why we're seeing the weather we are. This morning we had 2 low pressure systems, one in the Treasure State, one down towards Oregon with a cold front in between. And what we're going to see is as that cold front leaves us, we're going to look at a high pressure start to build in from the Pacific. And as it does so, we will try and see a little bit of a clearing Monday night. Not for long though. We're going to be seeing, as we expand out, we're going to see a cold front making its way into the area. This is around 6 o'clock in the evening. Showers really staying behind the front. As it makes its way though into the area, we'll start to see showers and thunderstorms on the increase. So heads up, Monday night, that's when we're expecting some showers and thunderstorms. And for our temperatures too, we will stay below the average all throughout the week really. We're seeing here in the Electric City temperatures around 72 degrees. Well, we're not going to get above that until Saturday, which I'm actually kind of thankful for. And as we take a look at what we're expecting into the next week and a half, well, warmer temperatures are going to be moving back in, and we are also going to be staying drier rather than seeing the chance for precipitation, which we really need. So for the next couple of days, we will keep the chance for showers and thunderstorms, but then by Thursday, really starting to dry out. Friday, looking at only a slight chance for rain, and then on Saturday, mostly sunny skies as those temperatures jump up into the upper 70s. We're also looking at really the same situation for our friends in Helena too. Showers and thunderstorms, a chance for it for the next several days, but then by Friday, Matt, we're going to start to see a drying trend.
All right, looking forward to that, Grant. Well, a new dress code at one Butte daycare has caused some controversy. MTN's John Amy talked to the daycare owner about this issue that has some people upset.
When the owner of Spirited Roots Daycare in Butte started a new dress code policy banning clothing with messages she believes are divisive, the blowback was strong.
It's been mad. It's been totally crazy.
The policy includes banning shirts with images of guns, build the wall, the thin blue line, or glorifying the military and police. Many people posted critical messages about the daycare's policy and called for a boycott of the business. She claims some of the posts contained indirect threats.
I have seen people commenting things like, I just want to see her face. I just want to know what she looks like. Let me catch her in public. I exercise my Second Amendment right.
Moved by the recent Black Lives Matter protests, Crooker said she wants her business to promote love and inclusivity.
As long as people of color in this country are being disproportionately arrested and disproportionately incarcerated and disproportionately murdered, I won't stop, and I'm not going to back down from the policy. And it's not that I'm against the police force at all. I do think that we need a police force, but I do think that it needs to be altered.
Along with all the negative feedback the owner of this daycare has received, she also says she's received a lot of positive support.
I've honestly had an outpouring of love and respect, and people just, stepping up and sending me messages of support, which has been huge for me. I'm surprised by it.
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
We're back after this.
By the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on Montana's News Leader.
As the nation's economy slowly rebuilds, small businesses are finding ways to operate under this new normal. Chris Conti shows us how some people are reinventing themselves in order to survive.
We've had to be really creative.
Of all the tales fishermen have told, the story of the last 3 months is one Mark Harrell would prefer to rewrite.
Yeah, we're not certain. We don't know what's going to happen.
Mark and Captain Jim Markow are the two men behind Mystic Oysters in Noank, Connecticut. When we first met this pair back in March, they had just laid off every employee.
This is a reality that none of us have ever experienced before.
Thanks to a PPP loan from the CARES Act, though, Mystic Oysters has been able to rehire a small handful of employees.
A couple jobs here, a couple jobs there, things will come back.
But Jim and Mark know that loans aren't a long-term solution to this economic crisis.
We're hoping for the best, but we just don't know.
Before the virus hit, these oysters would be sold wholesale to restaurants. But with that market gone, Mystic Oysters was forced to reinvent themselves, like so many other businesses across the country. Through social media, they're now marketing directly to consumers. On weekends, they've started farmers markets. Other small businesses come here to sell their products as well. There's even talk of selling frozen oysters to local grocery stores.
One of the most exciting things is allowing us to think outside the box where we, just never had to think about it before because we were doing so well.
It's put us in a direction where we have other options to sell our product where we really didn't even think of that.
And across the country, small businesses are realizing that in order to rebound, ingenuity and creativity are becoming the keys to survival.
And we don't know how long this will last.
As a researcher for the National Federation of Independent Businesses, Holly Wade's advice to small business owners: make sure you have a website. Find ways for customers to pay online. Talk to other small businesses. Look for opportunities to collaborate.
All of these creative adjustments to keep businesses up and running might be very helpful and beneficial as they grow their business.
As for the guys at Mystic Oysters, diversification has meant things like selling lobsters for the first time in their company's history. Jim Markow hopes to be a source of inspiration for other small business owners.
Don't give up. Keep thinking. There's a lot of opportunities out there if you want to be creative.
Optimism about a future rebound, even as the seas around here are still a bit unsettled. In Noank, Connecticut, I'm Chris Conti reporting.
Some Montanans spent their quarantine remodeling their homes. Now they have home supplies to donate and need new materials. MTN's Katie Miller went down to Home Resource in Missoula and tells us more.
Missoulians are back out shopping, hoping to update their homes.
We're looking for irrigation stuff for our garden.
Home Resource is a nonprofit building material donation center.
Yeah, we built a chicken coop and a greenhouse using a lot of recycled materials from here. So yeah, we love it here.
It was closed for about 3 weeks at the start of this pandemic.
It's really thrown a wrench into pretty much every way we operate.
Assistant Manager Ben Surratt says they added a hand washing station and are enforcing social distancing.
Everyone is required to wear a mask, and they're only letting 20 people in the store at a time. And even though the shopping area looks a little like a junkyard, people say you can find all sorts of treasures, from window panes to ski poles.
It's pretty special.
But not every shopper is happy about the changes.
My team was just getting insulted daily.
Surratt says they've been getting negative feedback about the mask requirement. So they put up an insult board demonstrating some of that negative feedback.
We just needed to do something to say, hey, we hear your frustrations, but we still need to do this for the benefit of everybody.
But he says most of the customers tell him they feel safe shopping here.
I'm just really grateful to see everybody coming in, and I'm so thankful for everybody that's being safe and understanding.
Thanks for being here with us today.
In Missoula, Katie Miller, MTN News.
Home Resource is open every day from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. in Missoula. We're back after this.
All right, well, taking a look at tomorrow, 65 degrees with showers mostly here in the Electric City. Tuesday, looking at the chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms really starting off at midnight. And Wednesday, we'll continue to see that chance. And for our friends in Helena, tomorrow, we're going to be looking at showers and thunderstorms. And also on Tuesday, Matt.
Well, Grant, we have a couple people to say congratulations to a couple E.B. Craney Award winners here at MTN. Tom Wiley for TV Sports Story, Richie Melby for Sportscaster of the Year, Sean Newton for TV Commercial Program, that was for Under the Big Sky, and of course, Shannon Newth for TV Broadcaster of the Year, all well-deserved. Congratulations to all of those people that we work with. So happy to work with them. And I hope if you see them online, wish them the best. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.